Dear listener, today our last part of this topic, so please listen carefully. Thanks. One way and some another. Just as two people go across the river, one goes by one bridge and one another, but they both ultimately get to their destination. In other words, after all is said and done, it's results that count. And if you will make up your mind to exactly what you want and follow the simple rules which are given herein, everything you are after will be yours. I know it. I believe it, and it's so. After you get a grip on the power, do not let the results of its usage surprise you. Miracles will be performed. You will do what previously you thought impossible. As certain as night follows day, results will follow in a most astounding manner. Things will come to you from the most unexpected sources. Ideas for accomplishment will pop here and they'll pop there, then follow through. Others may say that as things happen for you, they are mere coincidences, but you are lucky, etc. Care not what they say. They are the scoffers, the non-believers, the ignorant. Remain steadfast in your belief that they are the result of your own works. Coupled with that something, in using this power, you are setting up powerful vibrations among the unseen forces. Therefore, it is not well that you should tell anyone, not even your most intimate friends or relatives, of your innermost wishes or desires. Your deep-rooted ambitions, keep them to yourself, for should some person learn what you are after, they may consciously or unconsciously, due to enviness or something else, set up counter vibrations, place obstacles in your way, and otherwise attempt to hinder you. Should barriers accidentally fall or be placed in your path, climb over or go around them. Go whistling, be blindly by, tell no one. Now remember, it is entirely up to you as to the kind of pictures you create and hold constant and subsequently bring into realities. Analyze this. You are today exactly where your thoughts have brought you, where your thoughts have brought you, and you will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. You are the absolute boss. Therefore, bear in mind always, the only limit is the limit you fix for yourself. And remember, you start with your thoughts. It may take longer to get some of the things you are after than others, but never get discouraged. Rome was not built in a day. Just maintain your faith, your belief, and keep tapping away. Many things will be added unto you and your dreams. The positive pictures will come true. Remember, nothing can stop you but yourself. I know it. I believe it, and it's so. I also am one of those who believes that all things are relative to my way of thinking. If a man can earn 1, he can as easily earn 10. If he has 2 suits of clothes, he can have 10. The only difference is the amount of energy he is willing to expend. And this goes for acquiring 100 to 1000, and from then on it is a matter of only adding ciphers. There is no limit as to what a person may do or secure, provided he makes up his mind and steadfastly and determinedly moves towards his goal. Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up. If wilt ever dig an ancient saying, as I said under detonating caps, be careful how you use the power which is to be yours. It'll act as a boomerang and destroy you and everything you hold dear if you use it for evil. Therefore only use it for doing you and others the most good and bringing happiness for yourself and those around you. Do not talk or boast about what you may have done for others or of your good deeds. They will speak for themselves. Just continue to give thanks for the fact that you are on your way. That's enough. Use it only for good. What is personality? What is it when you get in the presence of another person who has personality that grips you? What is it that causes you to feel his very presence, that overshadows you? It's nothing more than a dynamic force coupled with willpower, which is drawing from that huge reservoir of the subconscious. There are millions of people who have this personality. Some say it's natural with them, perhaps it is, but they are unconsciously using this power. In other words, it's sort of been thrust upon them, and when that thing called personality is backed up with willpower, things move. Have you got it? To my way of thinking, selling bonds, books, clothes, insurance, electric service, washing machines is no different than selling any other commodity. Selling yourself or selling ideas. I have found that trying to put over an idea, firstly I have had to believe in the idea, dream it, eat with it, eat with it. I had to have it with me every minute of the day until it became part of me. The old idea of repetition again, and I know it works. In selling commodities, you have got to know what you are talking about, and only hard, personal, persistent, intelligent study will enable you to do this one more thing, and that is keep informed as to what is going on in the world about you. You never know what a prospect may be interested in, and it's sometimes necessary to get his attention or your break entirely through irrelevant subjects. That's why I repeat, read the newspapers, current periodicals, and read them thoroughly. I don't mean read every detail of some murder or suicide, but get a digest of the day's news. Awaken. Know what is going on about you. Get understanding. Keep step with the world's affairs. The better informed a person, the better he is equipped to get what he wants. Don't forget that knowledge is power. All of you should know that by this time. He who knows others is clever, but he who knows himself is enlightened. From the sayings of a wise Oriental, increase your knowledge, and the scope of your activities will be enlarged, and the desire for greater things, larger things will come automatically, and as they do, the things which you previously thought you wanted will become to your mind trivial, and will become to your mind trivial and will be disregarded. Which is another way of saying that you ultimately will hit your wagon to a star. And when you do your move with lightning-like speed, study, learn and work, develop a keenness of observation, step on the gas, become alive for yourself, and you'll pass it on to the other fellow. Get confidence, enthusiasm, and you are set up like vibrations all around you, and that's the theory of all life. As old as the world itself, like begets like a laugh, brings a laugh, a good deed cause for a good deed, riches beget riches, love, and so on. The old law of attraction stated in Ampere's theory of electrical magnetism is parallel. Currents in the same direction attract one another, and when you are out of tune and antagonistic, you put others out of tune and make them antagonistic, because parallel currents in opposite directions repel one another. However, don't get the thought that I have given you an oversized wishbone which will enable you to sit down and, by talking to yourself through the idea of repetition, get what you want, because it will never work. You have got to have the wishbone backed up with a backbone, and that isn't all. The wishbone and the backbone must be coordinated and synchronized to a point where they are running in perfect harmony, and when they are in tune you will find personality developing. Then put action energy into your scheme and everything will move before you. Wishbones need backbones. I take it that all of us have admired that intense type of person. I mean by that one, whose shoulders are back, whose chest is out, whose head is up, and whose eyes are alert. It is easy to pick out in any organization those whose feet lag, whose shoulders droop, whose chins sag, and whose eyes are a blank. Drifters, loafers, quitters. First measure yourself, then study those with whom you are associated, and you can tell at almost a glance those who will make progress and those doomed to failure. Every physical movement tells a story. Each marks your personality. Your body and your mind are in reciprocal relationship. Each accent reacts upon the other. Your bodily movements, your facial expressions indicate the way you think. Now study yourself, your eyes in the mirror again. The person you see in the mirror is the one the other person sees. What kind of an impression do you wish to make on him? That too is up to you. You know whether or not you have personality. If absent or undeveloped, make up your mind to get it. You can and you will when you make up your mind and do as suggested herein. If you will develop that intensity of purpose, determination to get ahead shortly, the determination will show in your eyes. You have heard people say that a certain person has a penetrating gaze, that he looks right through one. What is it? Nothing more than that, fire from within, intensity, or whatever you wish to call it, which means that the person who has that gaze usually gets what he wants. Remember the eyes of the windows of the soul. Look at the photographs of successful men. Study their eyes and you will find that every one of them has that intensity. Therefore I say, let it be reflected in the way you walk, in the way you carry yourself. That it will not be long before people will feel your presence when you walk through people will feel your presence when you walk through a presence, when you walk through a crowd, and an individual prospect will feel that personality when you talk with him. The eyes have it. All of this is to explain that it takes an affirmative type to make progress, and the things I have pointed out may be utilized to develop you into an affirmative type. The negative type is sunk before he starts. Nature takes care of these situations through the old law of the survival of the fittest. We know what happened in the day of Sparta when children were put on their own at a baby age and only those who survived were given further chance. A negative type is a quitter, or another way. A quitter is a negative type, and while there is no point to going around hitting everybody on the nose just to start something, always remember it's poor business to let yourself be put on the defensive, as that is a negative side. The person who wouldn't be licked can't be licked. If you are taken unawares and suddenly put on the defensive, snap out of it, take the offensive, because if you remain on the defensive you are beaten, of course, to bring about this intensity of being. It's necessary to be in good health. I do not claim that the power of will is a cure-all to mend broken legs and all that sort of thing, but I do know that constant application of the theory here in advanced will aid a person in ill health. All of you have heard of Dr. Émile Cole, the Frenchman who was in this country a few years ago, telling people they could cure themselves if they would adopt his plan. His idea was that you should say to yourself every day in every way, "I'm getting better and better." Just ponder over that for a minute. Every day in every way. There was nothing new in that idea any more than there is in the ideas which I put forth, simply another way of expressing the whole scheme: reiteration, repetition, keeping up a moose in your mind all the time. What you want, and which positive thoughts in turn are passed on to the subconscious mind, the wonder thing: think health, wealth, and happiness, and they will all be yours. It cannot be otherwise. We all know of people who are continually talking about backaches, headaches, or some other kind of aches. They harp on them, and the first thing they know, with that reiteration, the aches become realities. If you have such an ache or pain, there is no point to talking about it, neither is there any point to talking about your worries, your troubles. Do not talk about them, do not think about them, then they will not be in your mind. It is the repetition that keeps them there. Shift your gears, reverse the process. Get away from the negative side and become an affirmative type. Think affirmatively, and the first thing you know, your aches, worries, and troubles will disappear. If thou art pained by any external thing, it is not this thing which disturbs thee, but thy own judgment about it, and it is in thy power to wipe out this judgment now. But if anything in thy own disposition gives the pain, who hinders thee from correcting their opinion? The philosophy of the ages. When a train roars across the track in front of you, you put on the brakes of your automobile, throw the gears into neutral, and idle your engine. You are on your way again just as soon as the train passes, but you certainly do not throw your gears into reverse and go backwards. Backwards. Are you in reverse? Compare yourself to the gears of your automobile in reverse. Place all fears, worries, troubles, aches and pains, and when things go wrong, simply put on the brakes, idle your engine until you can clearly see the road ahead. In high is everything you desire: health, wealth, happiness, success. No power in the world except your hand can put the gears of your automobile in reverse. If your own gears get in reverse, remember you alone, put them there, and you put them there with your own thoughts, because there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Therefore, as you think, you move either forward or backward, in high gear or in reverse. When you place yourself in reverse, worry, stew and fret, you are using the tap-tap idea to bring into existence the things you would most avoid. Just as you bring the good things which you want into reality by holding the positive thoughts constant, so do you bring the bad things, those which you fear, by holding the worry, the negative thoughts constant. If you have read this far, then you must realize that when you look after your thoughts, then your thoughts will look after you. Therefore, which will it be? Grief, trouble, ill health, worry, failure or health, worry, failure or health, wealth, happiness, success. It's entirely up to you. No power on this earth, but you can direct your thoughts, and the way you use your will to keep your thoughts positive is a matter solely under your control. Therefore, lose no time in erecting a steel wall on the right side of the reverse gear. Close the door of yesterday, keep it closed always, then shift from low gear into high and stay there. Which will it be? Those of you with your own business, increase your business, or if you're a salesman, your sales as a result of your own thinking. When others tell you that business is bad, things are tough, going to the bow wows, etc., and you accept their thoughts and make them your own, your business will go to the bow wows, have no doubt about that. Then as you talk to others with your chin on your chest, your feet dragging in the front of a professional mourner, then you tap them down. At the more you circulate and the more you talk, tapping with the same story. Especially if you think and talk with an air of conviction. The think can talk with an air of conviction. The more damage you do, you are setting up thought in reality. Fear, vibrations which are far-reaching fear thoughts are terrifically contagious and spread like wildfire. Conversely, as you direct your thoughts, visualizing towards increasing your business, your sales, your profits, etc., have no misgivings of your own, keeping your mind closed to the downward tapping thoughts of others, and put enthusiasm, energy, and action into your program, your business, your program, your business, your sales automatically will increase. You must keep in mind always that the intense fire of enthusiasm from within becomes a conflagration which affects all on your wavelength as long as you radiate it. The vibrations you set up with your powerful rays of enthusiasm inspire others, raise them up, build and attract business, just as fear vibrations tap others down, repel and destroy. Close your eyes. It is an indisputable fact, irrespective of the times, that there is always business somewhere for the man who believes it exists and goes after it, but none for the person who is positive, but none for the person who is positive that none exists and makes no endeavor to move except this experiment and be convinced any downward or upward trend in our worldwide economic scheme is due entirely to the way we think. When the great world leaders, the statesmen, the financiers, editors, publishers, economists, those who direct and influence the thoughts of millions in every part of the globe, permit depressed thoughts to enter into their scheme, then depressed thoughts and fear vibrations enter into the scheme of those same millions, and business comes to a near standstill. When the world's leaders change their way of thinking, toss out fear and move forward instead of backwards, then the thoughts of millions change for the better, and as they think constructively, business improves, thought moves the world. Stop and meditate over this for a few moments. You will realize that thought operating in reverse was the great underlying factor which brought on the so-called economic depression. Human beings are human beings. The world over, whether in Prague or Timbuktu, all subject to the same emotions, the same influences, the same vibrations. And what is a community, a city, a nation, but merely a collection of individual humans as a man think earth in his heart? So is he as members of a community. Think so they are, as a city thinks so is it, and as a nation thinks so is it. There is no other conclusion. We are living in a great crisis in human history. There is unlimited need for boldness and courage, but there is no occasion for dismay. On the one hand, there is the way to such achievements, to such wealth and happiness as mankind as never before. Known wife, even as we know it now, tastes very good at times. We spoil it a lot for ourselves and each other by fear, FOLs hate, bickering, suspicion and anger. There is no need for us to go on spoiling it. We have not the health we might have, we have not a tithe of the happiness we might have, but it is within the power of the human will to change all that. H. G. Wells, England's great man of letters. This power, this vital energy or whatever it is inexhaustible, and it is so easy to use it if you only have the key. I am fully appreciative of the fact that psychologists maintain that few persons really think it. Is my hope that this message will cause you to think. If you dismiss it as so much bolder then I shall know that you have never understood or appreciated how the great characters of history who may have previously mentioned, and many others with whom you yourself should be familiar, made names for themselves or gained niches in the Hall of Fame. Change gears. Now, real people, successful people are those who made themselves, are not what others made them. After all, there are only two ways to move forward and backward. Why not forward? Watch the down and outer on the street. His whole trouble is lack of positive ideas. If he thinks he is down and out, he is. If he will change his ideas, he will be up and coming. All of us know that you can shift your gears if you only realize it. You'll have been told how to keep out of reverse, and it is simply a mechanical process for yourself. Understand, and you will always keep your gears in high and move forward. A sale is affected by getting a prospect to think as you do, and unless you believe that the thing you are selling is good, then obviously you can't make the other fellow believe it, believe in your goods. That is just plain common sense. So for those of you who may be selling, keep in mind what I have previously said about knowing your article and selling yourself. That is 99 of the success of selling. The other one, it says legwork. Contacting the prospect. You should realize that the bending other people to your will or getting them to do as you wish is simply having them think as you think, and that is very easy. Charles M. Schwab said, "Many of us think of salesmen as people traveling around with sample kits. Instead, are all salesmen. Every day of our lives we are selling our ideas, our plans, our energies, our enthusiasm to those with whom we come in contact. So it is with every endeavor, and especially true of selling commodities, because you must contact people, sell yourself, and when I say contact, I mean contact. I mean contacting them face to face. The day of order taking is gone, and it is only the persons who have got it in them who are to succeed. Now all the others will sink. You cannot beat a fundamental law, the survival of the fittest. Therefore forget about order taking, and keep in mind the only way you can close a sale is to make the prospect think as you think. The best way is in face-to-face contact. You have got to be in his presence. You've got to be in his presence. You've got to see his reactions, the old law of cause and effect, and you have got to adapt yourself to the conditions as they confront you with that individual prospect. If you are intent on making a sale, and you must be if you are going to succeed, keep in mind my theme. A subconscious mind will be giving you ideas, hunches, inspirations, a perfect flood of them which will guide you correctly. They will point out the way to get into a busy man's presence, into the privacy of his very self. And when you get there, stand on both feet, follow your hunches, be alert, make him feel your personality. Know what you are talking about. Be enthusiastic, don't quail. You are just as good as he is, and besides you may have something which he hasn't, and that is utmost confidence, utmost faith in the article you are selling. On the other hand, if he's a success, he also has personality. Therefore, be sure to put the contact on a 50-50 basis. Do not belittle him. Do not let him belittle you. Meet on common ground, make him like you, and when he likes you and when he likes you and you him, success is on its way. Remember, you are going to sell him. There is strength in teamwork. The ASP irate decor pounded into those of us who were in the army made the American forces what they were, and it's the ASP irate decor, and it's the ASP irate decor, teamwork, determination to move forward, which will shove us along. If this is accepted in the spirit in which it is given, put into execution, you will be unbeatable, and by getting in tune and getting others on the track, the world is yours. When fear rules the will, nothing can be done. But when a man casts fear out of his mind, the world becomes his oyster. To lose a bit of money is nothing but to lose hope, to lose nerve and ambition. That is what makes men cripples. Herbert N. Cass. And ascertain exactly what you want and use the mechanics given, and you will discover more gates open for you than you ever dreamed existed. I am not interested in any prophetic explanations. I'm interested in results. A light will dawn upon you and you will see clearly ahead how to achieve what you are. After the same principles, the same methods can be successfully applied to any line. The ability to accomplish anything in a convincing fashion depends entirely upon the degree of expert knowledge which you possess. Coupled with that intensity of purpose, read and study, practice, tap, tap, tap before closing. I should tell you that the conscious mind must be placed in a receptive condition to get the ideas from the subjective or subconscious. Of course, we all know it is the conscious mind which reasons, which calculates. The subconscious mind does not do any of these things. It simply passes on ideas to the conscious mind. Open the door. You have heard a lot of people say play your hunches. What are those hunches? What are those hunches? Where do they come from? They come from the workings of the subconscious mind. Psychologists tell us, you will soon understand the reason that to put the human mind in a receptive condition, you must relax. If you have ever laid on the massage table and been told by the message table and been told by the masser to relax, then you know what I mean. Let the body go limp. If you have trouble at first, try it with your arm, both arms, both legs, until the whole body is relaxed and the mind automatically will relax. When that is accomplished, concentrate on what you want. Then hunches, come grab them, execute them. As the little voice tells you, do not reason or argue, but do as you are told and do it immediately. Relax and tap. You will understand what psychologists, mystics, and students mean when they tell you to stop, relax. Think of nothing when you wish to draw on the subconscious and have the little inner voice speak. As you further progress, you will also begin to realize what the seers of the East had in mind when they said, become at ease. Meditate, go into the great silence, continue to meditate, and your problems will fade into nothingness. The road ahead will become illuminated and your burdens will fall away one by one. Is there anything clearer than Pilgrim's Progress? My message is no different than that which was conveyed there, only as I said before, I put it to you in perhaps different words. The late Thomas Edison, explaining his success of inventing, said, I begin by using my accumulated knowledge, but most of my inventions are completed with ideas which flash into my mind out of thin air. Fred T. and Charles Daly, associated with Mr. Edison for more than 50 years, sold the secret of making synthetic rubber, the mysterious nothingness. I quote from a newspaper story dated October 21, 1931. On Monday Mr. Edison started to sink into a stupor, but Dion Art was still pounding. Doggedly, determinedly, concentrating, tap, 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 tap at their experiments. And on Tuesday night the solution flesh out of the mysterious nothingness. The little voice spoke just like it always does when you make up your mind what you want and when you go after it. If your own little inner voice suggests that you ask for something, do not be backward about asking. You have nothing to fear. The other person will never help unless he knows your wishes, so you must ask, accept the theory advanced herein and practice intelligently, and the voice will speak just like it did for Edison, Art Daly and thousands of others, and you will get results or will be yours. In Julius Caesar, Cassius E. of the lean and hungry look, talking to Brutus of the Roman emperor's power, said, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars but in ourselves, that we are underlings." As you know, William Shakespeare wrote that, and he himself arose above the commonplace by using this power. If you are timid, backward, in a rut, and an underling, it is because of yourself. Blame not the stars. Blame not society. Blame not the world. Blame yourself again. I say, change gears, put them in high, and begin to move. Who is to blame? Some people, not thoroughly understanding, may say that you are conceited, self-centered, or selfish, but care not what they say. Those are the scoffers, those who would put rocks in your road and otherwise impede your progress. Those who understand will be helpful. They will be eager to serve you. Intelligent ones will begin to study you. The intelligent ones will begin to study you to determine what you have that they haven't and try to learn your secret. I have given you a grip on it, owe it to you tightly and start moving forward. George Jean Nathan, one of America's foremost critics in a compilation of living philosophies, declares he has never known a man who succeeded in life in a material way who did not think of himself first, last, and all the time naturally. I don't know just how Nathan meant that, but I'm sure he did not mean that a successful man is selfish to the point where he isn't helpful to others. Because if you follow the theme as I have outlined it and get on the road to success, you will not be led to act ruthlessly. Service pays dividends. As a matter of fact, the exact opposite is true, because you will find that you will wish to do charitable things, good things for other people, performing services involving the throwing out of crumbs as it were, and your willingness to do something nicely for the other man, which will bring about a willingness on his part to do something for you. There is nothing selfish about this, it's just a matter of cause and effect. Remember, the laws of attraction like always attracts like. When you perform a service, you'll be paid huge dividends. There is no mystery about it. It's just so. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I know it, I believe it, and it's so. This little book will do everything for you that is claimed, but you must reread it until every sentence, every word is thoroughly understood. And then you must apply the principles and mechanics with your whole heart and soul. Make them a part of your daily life. And when you put into practice the ideas offered, you will find that they will work just as they've always worked and always will. If you are in deadly earnest with yourself, you will find the whole scheme very simple. After you have studied the book and have reflected upon the ideas set forth, you will appreciate the tremendous force which lies in the science of thought, repetition, and positive action. You can, by repetition of the same thought, tap yourself upward or downward dependent on whether you have depressed or constructive thoughts. And as you build yourself powerfully, you will find that you can influence others by your thoughts. Therefore, let me again admonish you to exercise great care, but you do not misuse your power. Keep your mind filled with good, constructive thoughts, and then act with all the energy you possess as the ideas come to you. Remember, every thought kept ever constant leads to action and results follow. So keep this book and read it again over and over, study it and reread and study it as frequently as possible. In the beginning, all things were good, man, himself made them bad. You do evil and evil will be done unto you. When you do good, you will receive good. In return, you can be what you wish and have everything you want. Provided you are willing to pay the price in time, thought, effort, and energy, you now have the key to receiving all that you desire. Best of luck to you and your future endeavors. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for next topic. Thanks.